Hi there everybody, it's Martin Twycross here with another video short, bringing you practical down-to-earth teachings on mediumship and development without the fluff. So today's video is 5 more reasons why sitting in the power may not be working for you. And it follows on from our previous video, which was 5 reasons why sitting in the power may not be working. And with the previous one, I spoke about 5 reasons that are commonly encountered by those who are new to sitting in the power. With this video, I want to talk about 5 more reasons that are commonly encountered with those who've been doing it for a little while, those who've started a regular practice of sitting for spirit, sitting in the power. So if that sounds of interest, do stay with me. Okay, 5 more reasons why sitting in the power may not be working for you. 5 more challenges and issues I commonly encounter with those who are practicing sitting for spirit. And before I get into exactly those reasons, let's just back up and let's just talk briefly about what sitting in the power is so you understand it. So this is one of a series of videos all about sitting in the power. In the first one, I spoke about why you should do sit in the power. In the second one, I spoke about practical tips on how to do it, and I did talk about the process of sitting in the power in a bit more detail. In my last video, I spoke about 5 reasons why sitting in the power may not be working, primarily aimed at those who are new to it. So now we want to get into 5 more reasons for those who are a little bit more experienced with it. I will speak briefly about what sitting in the power is in case you do not understand that. It is an attunement meditation. It's where we learn to blend and hold a link with spirit. So it's 2 parts. First part is we blend with our own soul, and then staying blended with our soul, we then blend with the presence and the power of spirit and spend time sitting in the presence and power of spirit. If you want to understand more about it, I do have a number of products available. I do have a meditation called Sitting in the Power, which I talk you through my version. That's available as a CD and MP3. I also have a teaching video called Mediumship Class 2, Building Power, Sitting for Spirit. And that runs for about 2 hours, and I talk you through what sitting in the power is, how to do it, and it includes a shortened version of it. If you want to really get into sitting in the power in a lot of detail, I have a course called Meditation and Sitting for Spirit, where I do a deep dive into sitting in the power. That course is 4 2-hour videos, and it also includes 4 meditations, 2 of which are versions of sitting in the power. So all of that is available from my website and my store, links in the description below. So 5 more reasons why sitting in the power may not be working for you, which apply to those who have already started a practice of sitting. 5 commonly encountered issues and challenges. Number 1, you're not sure you're doing it right. So people say to me, well, I sit, but I don't feel anything. I don't feel much. And one of the things that you need to think about is when we first start sitting, if we've not developed ourselves enough with our development, our psychic development, we may not feel a great deal. If you've not developed your psychic senses, you won't feel a great deal. If you've not developed your clairvoyance, you won't see a great deal. So we need to accept in the early stages of our development that we may not feel much or see much or experience much because we aren't that developed. But people say to me, well, how do I know if I'm doing it right? How can I tell I'm doing it right and I'm in the power? And it's very hard to answer that, to be honest. Through experience, you'll find that it works. But one thing that we see commonly with people when they're well blended in the power is a stillness comes over them. If I see somebody and they're scratching or fidgeting, even though their eyes shut or they're moving and looking around the room, generally it tells me they're not in the power. They're not well blended. But when we learn to blend well and sit well in the power, there's a stillness that develops that we can experience through the body that emanates from us, a stillness. And as a tutor watching people sitting in the power, we can sense the presence of spirit with them, but we can feel that emanation that comes from them, from the spirit realm, and we sense that stillness around them. So the focus moves away from the external and into the internal. You shouldn't be too bothered by distractions and noises. And the other thing you should feel is you should feel more when you sit in the presence of spirit than when you sit in the presence of your own soul. That is common, much more common to experience more when we move and blend and attune to the spirit world. And some people tell me, well, I can't really tell a difference between sitting in my own soul and sitting for spirit. So If that happens to you, then there's more work to be done to unfold the sense of feeling, to unfold the clairsentience with you. But generally, the rule of thumb is you should be able to feel a difference in the energies. That's the rule of thumb. The majority of people feel more when they're blending with spirit. But because of that, a common mistake a lot of people make is they want to rush to be with spirit because I don't feel a great deal in my own power. Let's go and sit in the power of spirit where I feel loads. But when we're first starting out, we want to sit in our own power more than the power of spirit. We want to get to know our own energy. We want to build our own power to then take it to the spirit world. So you'll get more benefit if you sit in the presence of your own soul first before you rush to the spirit world. And over time, yes, you go to the spirit world, but in the early stages, it's better to sit in the presence of your own soul. Another common issue I encounter is that people want to have an experience. We're so used to getting an experience in our development, in classes, in workshops. Whenever we have a session, we want to get something from it. So when we sit for spirit, we bring the same mindset. We want to connect with our loved ones or other people's loved ones. We want to connect with our guides or helpers. We want to get messages or we want to get some guidance for ourselves from spirit. So that's very common, but it will hold you back. It's not going to help you because what you're really looking to do is just sitting to be in the presence of spirit, to blend, attune, and then just sit. That's all we're seeking to do. We're not seeking experiences, so don't go looking for experiences. And Gordon Higginson always said that when we sit in the presence of spirit, no time spent there is ever wasted. Remember that. And some people may say to me, well, actually, I've heard a meditation of yours, Martin, where you use sitting in the power to go and blend with your guides and get guidance. And it is possible that you can do that, yes. But that should be a treat. That should be a 1 in 20. 19 out of 20, you should be sticking to the regular version and just sitting to be, not seeking experiences. Every now and again, you can give yourself a treat and have a little experience if you want. But it should be the exception, not the norm. So challenge number 3 that people bring to me is, what should I be experiencing? Or I've experienced this and is it right? Is that what you get? And the thing is, the experience you get is unique to you. There's a huge range of experiences available. What each person gets is unique to them. And remember, it's about how the power of spirit and the energy of spirit affects you and your energy. So when we sit in the presence of spirit or in our own power, the power of our own soul, we will be affected by that energy. But most commonly, as I said, that's you feel more with spirit. People tell me they get physical sensations in the body. We can get a sense of cobwebs on our skin. We get a sense of static electricity around us. You can get tingling in the body. You can even get pressure as if there's a feeling of someone touching you. These are all common experiences you can get when sitting in the presence of spirit. And you may see imagery as well within your mind. You may see colours, you may see lights, you may see patterns, you may see faces appear, you may see an image or a scene take place within your mind, and all of that is relatively common. And people say, I get this, is it normal? And the answer is yes, to varying degrees. The vast majority of things you get, other people get them as well. So it's normal, but to varying degrees. Each person gets something unique to them. Remember, what you get is unique to you. So don't compare experiences too much. Don't try and get what they get. Just accept what you experience and go with the flow. So another common issue I get is that my experience has changed over time. Is it not working? Am I not doing it right? I used to get this and now I don't. What's happening? And you've got to remember that the experience you get will change with time. Just like when we're doing mediumship, how we experience things changes over time. What you got 2 years ago will be different from what you got 1 year ago. Will be different from what you get now, and will be different from what you get in a year's time. We change. How we experience the energy changes. As we get used to the energy, our experience becomes less. With anything we do in our lives, whatever we do, the first time we do it, it's so exciting. The first time we do it, we're aware of so many things. But over time, when we get used to doing it, it becomes second nature and you just get on with it. And you're not aware of half the things you did on the first time. Think about learning to drive. Every experience, it's just so much to assimilate and get your head round. And when you've been driving for 10 or 20 years, you just do it by rote. You don't even think about it. So that's the same with sitting in the power. When we first start doing it, we experience a lot, we feel a lot. But when we start doing it regularly, a lot of that just falls away. The feelings diminish, the images go. If you like, there's no need for us to experience them anymore. We don't have a need, or our awareness doesn't need to be aware of them. We can just let them go. So just accept it. It doesn't mean you're not as well blended. It just means remember that your experience is changing. And I'll give you one example in my own development to illustrate that. Early on when I used to sit, I often felt when I was sitting in the presence of spirit that I would have a hand upon my shoulder. A pressure would appear upon my shoulder that felt in my mind a lot like a hand rested upon my shoulder. And that stayed with me for a few years. And if you like, that's how the energy of spirit affected me. The energy signature of spirit was that pressure. It was like a calling card of being in the presence of that spirit energy. But it disappeared after a while and I've not had it since. But I think it went because I don't need it. I now know I'm in the presence of spirit, but in those early days, it was helpful to have that, helpful to give me that understanding. So over time, our experience changes. And finally, we feel like nothing is happening. People often say to me, well, I sit regularly, but it just feels like nothing's happening. So it's paradoxical. It feels like nothing's happening when there is a lot happening. But we're not aware of them. We're not having experiences. Because we're not having experiences, we don't have that awareness. And the things that are taking place, we're not aware of. So when we sit, we make ourselves accessible to spirit. Our spirit team, our guides and helpers get to understand our energy. They get to understand our minds. They get to explore and learn to work with us. When we sit and blend with that power, that energy, we create the conditions needed for the unfoldment of the potentials and abilities from within. But again, you're not aware of a specific experience, so you don't think anything's happening. But the truth is a lot is happening, you're just not aware of it. So you've got to trust the process, you've got to have patience, you've got to go with the flow with it. Do not expect instant results. People say to me, well, I've been sitting for 2 or 3 weeks and I don't think a great deal's happened. Well, no, it won't, not in 2 or 3 weeks. I would say it takes a good 6 to 12 months to really start to bring forward good results in your development. So you've got to be in it for the long haul. You've got to give it time. You've got to make a commitment to it. It's a tortoise and a hare. You can't just do a short burst here and a short burst there. You've got to keep going with it routinely. You've got to keep staying with it, sticking with it. And if you do that, know that over time, things will improve, things will move forward, things will happen for you. And one last thing I will say as well is do not mistake quantity for quality. It's not about how many times you sit, it's the quality of the sitting that you're doing. If you sit badly every day, that's not going to help you as well as sitting really well for spirit 2 or 3 times a week, or even just sitting really well twice a week. So remember, it's not about the quantity, it's about doing it well and doing it with the right intent and giving it the time. So I hope that you found the content in this video helpful. I hope it will help you with your practice of sitting the power, and I hope it will improve the results you get from sitting for spirit. So do check out the other videos in the series, as I mentioned earlier, links in the description and comments below. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you got lots from it. If you have, hit the like button. Do leave me a comment. If you enjoy my teaching, do check out my other videos and subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can do that in a number of ways. You can make a donation to support the channel. You can also check out my courses, my products, my study program, all available from my store. Details in the description below. But I hope you've got lots from it, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next one.